and to do the rest of the introduction here today.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, just to give you guys a little bit of the story here. The beginning of November, Justin and Darren and I were up in Canada doing there was a big training event, the first training event of that size in Canada. And after the event wrapped up, we walked around the city looking for a little sushi, and we finally found a spot for dinner. And we began a conversation about what was going on in the company. And Darren that night said, we've got some things we're looking at with some executives, and there's one particular guy. There's this one guy that we're hoping we can get, and if we get it, it's going to be a big deal. And so I remembered that, and then now the day has arrived to introduce you to that guy. And so Tuesday, we got formally introduced to Peter, and immediately I just had this flashback, guys. So I wasn't a part of LifeVantage at the very beginning. We got in about 6 months in, but I was early enough to be a part of some of the private meetings with Dr. Joe McCord. And some of you guys know Dr. Joe McCord, maybe intimately. You certainly have heard of the stories of Dr. McCord. And he was a big deal in helping LifeVantage kind of get some things developed, and certainly played a large role in the development of Protandem. And whenever I was with McCord and McCord was speaking, it added a level of credibility that seemed to, at least from my standpoint, give us something really to hold our heads up high and be extra excited about what we had. And I have loved working with the chief science officers along the way, and I love Natalie Chevreau to death. She's a good friend of mine, phenomenal person. But Tuesday, Peter, as he was introduced, said some things, and the hair on my arm started to stand up. And I think it's because of what Justin just told you guys. Peter not only has the science credibility, guys, a PhD, that intimidates me, Peter, because I couldn't wait to get out of school. I mean, that's just, I guess, the entrepreneur in me. So, sometimes I forget how to spell my name, much less anything else. But he's got the PhD in biochemistry. But on the other side, guys, he's come from the granddaddy of granddaddy companies. All right. This guy was the GM with Amway over in Germany. And I don't know about you guys, but when someone chooses with that kind of educational background and professional background in our profession, when that person chooses to join us, you have to get excited about that. And so I'm super excited that he's joined us. And I asked him just to share with us a little bit of, first of all, Peter, and yeah, I mean, I looked up your last name of how to say it. There's the Flemish way, the English way, and so I just say if you say it really fast, it sounds right, like Verdegem, right? And so we'll let you kind of clue us in on exactly how we should pronounce the words, but nonetheless, guys, this is Dr. Peter Verdegem, and Peter, why don't you share with them a little bit of what you shared with the Pro-10s and why you chose LifeVantage?
Okay, thanks, Brandon. Thanks everybody for on the beginning of this call. I see the numbers here. The participants is really impressive. How many people from all over the world are excited to call in? That's very impressive. And maybe Brandon, I can start a little bit at the beginning because what you just said was also very intriguing to me, like how, and also what Justin said of how the different steps I made. And I think it's just important to understand where I'm coming from. I did, yes, I was like the science guy. I was at universities. I did research. I did mostly the connection between nutrients and certain health concerns. And, everybody knows that nutrition is healthy. Everybody knows that, we're not eating healthy anymore. Everybody knows that there are people with deficiencies. Everybody knows that good food is actually going to help you live a better life and make sure that your long-term health concerns the risk for those is going to be reduced. That is actually how it all started, but looking at how we evolved, we got into the phase from knowing that to actually supplementing the things that we are lacking. And now with LifeVantage, as I've been studying it the last few months, this company, we're going into the next phase, and that is actually influencing body own processes with nutrition. And that sounds like, that is actually clearly a next phase. I mean, food is important. We know that. Then we discovered food was important for health. And if we lack certain foods, we're going to be not so healthy. But now we actually put food to use and influence processes that we have. And I think that is, a big discovery and a big forefront of research that LifeVantage is delivering. And I've always loved nutrition research. But now I realize that this is the next phase, and I recognize that, and I think it's really, really exciting that LifeVantage is stepping on that and has, through the interaction with Dr. McCord, developed this product this product range based on this discovery and based on this new science. And I think we are looking, of course, there's more stuff out there, but we are really looking at a new era to step into, and LifeVantage is pretty young, right? It's pretty young. It's not old yet, but that's great news. That's great news because you said you've been there since the first 6 months. And, here today I'm in Amsterdam. We have a meeting here tomorrow, a big event on Sunday in London, in the United Kingdom. And, we are at the beginning stages, and it's a fantastic place to be because, as everybody knows who's listening to this call, beginning phases of a launching company with a great technology is a fantastic moment to step into this business. And, yes, I'm originally a scientist, but I've learned to appreciate the network marketing channel for one reason only, and that it is the single most effective way of getting a message out there to the field. And, I've worked at big nutrition companies who put their stuff on the shelf. I've worked with companies that, put it in the pharmacy, all great. But if you can share a personal experience with a product, like so many of us in network marketing, and specifically in LifeVantage do, you're going to have such a strong tool to get this product out there. And that is what we're seeing right now. We see more and more enthusiasm of behind this great Protandim product. And, when you think about it, antioxidant protection is so important. We are living in an era where we're constantly being attacked by free radicals, by oxidative stress. That is not new, but it just increased a lot because of our environment, because of our lifestyle choices. We are constantly in disbalance when it comes to protection and attack by free radicals. And many of the health concerns, you just look up the data. Just go to the National Institute of Health, look up the data, and you'll find all these long-term health concerns that we're facing, cardiovascular disease, all kinds of Alzheimer's, eye problems where I did research on. They're all directly or indirectly related to oxidative stress. So we are right now exactly at this time point where we need this intervention with Protandim, and that's really a unique combination. Bringing it to the market through network marketing is the best thing we can do. So, very short, but that's why I'm actually here when it comes to the combination of a scientific-based product, a science-based product, clinical studies, because I greatly believe in personal stories. They're the most effective, but everybody wants to have those stories backed up by independent clinical research. I've done many studies myself. I know how difficult it is with nutrition. It's not easy. It's not easy. It takes guts to do it. It takes money to do it. It takes expertise to do it. And, many nutrition companies can't afford it. They just don't bother to do it because, it's really damn difficult. And a company that says, we're not going to be bringing something to the market which is not based on that credible research, I mean, kudos to you. That is exactly what the future of this industry needs. And that's what LifeVantage delivers right now. Right.
Dr. Peter, when we were talking, have you ever, you've been around, I think you said yesterday in one of our conversations now, about 15 years in our industry. And you've been with the biggest billion-dollar companies. Have you ever seen any product in our space or outside of our space with the science that we have?
Well, of course, there are products with the science that you have, but there's one big difference between LifeVantage, Protandim, and many products out there. The new technology that this product is based on is new. Science has been done in other companies, and that's great. That's good because that raises the credibility of the whole nutrition intervention industry. That is perfect, right? But if you look at the companies that are going to make it to the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, those are the companies that actually bring something with a unique selling point to the market with that science behind it. And those you don't find a lot. There may be a handful in the world, you know. I mean, I can be frank about it. I mean, I've been, as you said, with bigger companies, and they have good products, but at the end of the day, it's vitamin C and it's fish oil and it's, you know, a couple of A to Z vitamins, and that's all perfect. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but it's not going to be the future of our business. The future of our business is going to be new discoveries, and that's where you have the vision to recognize that and to further develop it into a marketable product using the right marketing channels, and that is what LifeVantage is doing.
So last question, let's reverse roles here for a second. You become a distributor, right? You're going to play our role, and we get asked all the time. We're paid storytellers. People, as you just said, some of the most powerful ways of influencing is with your own story, even outside of the story of the science. And so people are constantly wanting to have a story with Protandim. And we know Protandim works differently than vitamin C or these other ways. And so tell us, as a distributor, if you're out in the field, why should someone take Protandim, whether they feel it or not? Why should you take Protandim for the rest of your life?
Okay, that's a very good question. I know how difficult sometimes it is to describe the effect of nutritional intervention products. Let me ask you a question, Brandon. Do you think that today we live longer or shorter than 500 years ago on average?
Longer.
Longer, that's 1 point, right, good. So do you think that 500 years ago, do you know the average reasons why people died? What was that typical cause of death?
I would say disease and lack of medical care.
Well, that's a pretty general answer, but you know what I was looking, you're right, disease, that's a very good statement, right? But I was looking for the types of disease. You know, typically that time they lived about 45 years, you know, that average age in the 400 or 500 years ago, and they died of infections and, you know, big accidents and tuberculosis, for example, things that we now know how to solve. Yeah, that's great because of medical intervention. But today we live much longer. We're taking care of all these like immediate type of serious diseases, but we have introduced a very different type of health concern, and that is degenerative diseases, long-term diseases that don't just happen overnight, but that happen over time. And cardiovascular disease, as we all know in the US and worldwide, is #1 killer. Cardiovascular disease, right there. As so many people have that. We have different forms of cancers. We have high cholesterol. We have diabetes. We have metabolic syndrome. We have Alzheimer's. Those are all slow developing diseases, and those are all indications of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is around us. It is coming from pollution. It is highly reactive molecules that slowly attack our body. And in the beginning, you don't notice that. I mean, of course not. I mean, everybody just have constant attack from these free radicals around us. And our lifestyles haven't, you know, improved that situation either. But slowly they develop over years. So because we live so much longer, we have so much more damage being accumulated to our bodies because of everything that's around us. And our body knows that and has their own systems to prevent that from happening, to counteract that. And we, up to now, and many companies still do, think we need to help that system by just loading us up with antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin this, vitamin that. And yes, they're important, but science has evolved and science has shown that, you know, these massive doses are not the answer because they are just unnatural. What we need to do, and that was the invention of McCord and the way that LifeVantage has been built, we have our own systems in our body. We need to just stimulate them. We need to turn them on. We need to make sure that what our body knows best how to do, which is prevention of those slow damage occurring processes, to switch that on, to make that optimal, to make sure we are constantly from internal processes protected against these dangerous imbalance in free radicals. And that's exactly what Protandim does. So yeah, you won't notice it next week or next month, but you are going to be noticing protection from within. And that when you switch that process on, you're going to feel that over time. You're going to feel more energetic. You're going to feel more, you know, flexible muscles. You're going to be feeling more better joints and things like that. And you're going to have long-term protection of this slowly damage occurring to your body. And I think that is just I mean, it just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. I mean, loading your stuff up with like grams and grams of vitamin C is not what your body intended to do. We have our own systems. Now we know how to switch those systems on and make them more optimal. That is what Protandim is doing, and that's what LifeVantage is bringing to the market. It is the product of the current times and definitely the product of the future, because we're facing more and more of this oxidative stress problems over time.
Awesome. I'm going to stop asking you questions because I don't have a PhD. You know, I don't have all the answers on the medical side. So no more questions from me. I am intelligent enough to know when to shut up. So I'm done, Justin. Thank you, Peter, for joining LifeVantage. And I don't know about the rest of the field, but this Pro10 is getting after it. If you're sitting still, you're going to miss it, guys. As you just heard from Dr. Peter, we've got something that no one in the world has, and the world needs to find out. And the beauty is our company pays us a really big compensation for going and tell the world. So, Justin, why don't you give them a little more incentive to go tell the world?
I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. And I want to officially welcome Peter as well to the LifeVantage team. I'm super excited to work with you, have you help me with my pronunciations as well. So I couldn't be more excited about the addition, and I want to make sure people understand that Dr. Natalie Chabreau is going to be super thrilled when she gets some time to spend with Dr. Peter. They have not had a chance to hook up yet, but we have a 1-2 punch here. I love the fact that Dr. Peter will be in the European markets for us, and he's going to actually be driving sales, and his actual title is Vice President of International European Markets. To have someone with his background and his scientific background in that marketplace is going to be fantastic. And so for those of you that have connections in the UK and Netherlands or other parts of Europe where we hope to expand to quickly, you're going to be in great hands and in great support. One of the things that I really appreciated when we did a kickoff call with our UK and Netherlands leadership team was that Dr. Peter pretty much opened himself up to any kind of support that they would need to help build their business, except I don't think that you are giving wardrobe or fashion advice to anyone. Is that correct?
That's not my specialty. I don't have a PhD in clothing. That's my
okay. So other than that, you're at their call, and we're excited that you'll be participating in that role. So yesterday we had an opportunity to actually talk with all of our elites, and on that elite call, I just happened to ask the question, how many of our elites enrolled in the month of December? And we had close to 20% of the group that was on the call come back with, yep, that was my enrollment month. Some of them were early in December, some of them were late in December. And it got us thinking that December is a pretty powerful month. If people were not out sharing the LifeVantage story in December, we could not have 20% of our elites with us today. So I know those people that did open their mouth and share the LifeVantage story in December are very glad they did, if they were the ones that enrolled those elites that were with us on the call yesterday. So we know December can be a really powerful month, and we also know December can be a really distracting month, and it really is up to each individual on what they want to do and how they want to make their December either a catalyst to help jumpstart the new year, or if they're going to come back after the holidays and try to catch up with the people that did put in the time and effort. And so we thought we would make that decision for those of you that are kind of trying to make that decision of which way you're going to go this holiday season. Are you going to check out, or are you going to stay engaged? A little bit easier, because we want you to stay engaged. And Brandon, as you mentioned yesterday, you are engaged this December, and you're rocking and rolling. I think you mentioned that you're an A-lister on Southwest because of all the flights you've taken recently, and you're getting upgraded on Delta as well. So you got two airlines that are really grateful for your travel schedule this holiday.
The only thing I can do more is get in the cockpit. That's it. That's the next step.
And that's and you're gonna see the benefits of that early next year. So we are happy to introduce a brand new promotion. It's a Celebrate the Holidays promotion. And if you go on the website right now, and you'll see the icon right there on the front page that talks about the specifics. And basically, 10 of you that are on this call are going to be taking home an additional $5,000 this holiday season, because we're going to reward the top 10 point earners of enrollments from the 15th of the month until the end of the month. And so it started yesterday. So if you enrolled people yesterday, you're ahead of the game. And it goes until the 31st. And on the 31st, we're going to go back and we're going to tally up the points that people have earned from personally enrolling. And the top 10 are going to get an additional $5,000. That's a fun way to end the year. And so that starts, again, as of yesterday. So it's rolling. I hope it gives you and people on your team the added incentive to really stay engaged. I know December is one of those months that you get to see people that you don't see regularly throughout the year. If you have family and friends and other people that you get a chance to spend time with, and hopefully this is just a little bit additional incentive to help start that conversation to talk about what a great company that we all are a part of here with LifeVantage. So that is the promotion. That's one of the reasons we wanted to pull you guys all together before we get into the holiday mode. And yeah, I'm seeing fantastic messages here. So exciting. And they want to know if this call's recorded. And I would have to look at Danny for that answer. So hopefully Danny can type in a message and let us know how that's going. And we just couldn't be more excited about where we are as a company right now. And as 2017 is about to start, we have some great things in place to really help kickstart the year. Don't forget that on the 9th and 10th of January, we will be all across the United States and Canada and Mexico with our Pro 10 tour. So make sure that you check the website and get those sites, and it'll be exciting to see everyone out and about early in 2017. So let me just end by wishing everyone a happy holiday season and thanking you again for all of your hard work. I love our LifeVantage family. I have to tell you that that I was just reflecting on a few things that I've been able to do this year with our LifeVantage family, and it is so rich. And some of the most exciting things are when we are giving back as a family. And so I'll just encourage all of you to give back this holiday season. I know how much it makes a difference in the world. And the fact that we are a LifeVantage family together, we can do so much more good as a collective group than we can do individually. So looking forward to giving back in 2017 as well. And again, just wishing everyone a happy holiday season. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Dr. Peter. Welcome aboard for being a part of the call. I'll let you guys just say goodbye as well. And just let's go have a fantastic December, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Love all of you. And welcome officially to the team, Dr. Peter.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin and Brandon. And Justin, I can say you the same promotion we're having in Europe. We're launching it also this weekend. So you're going to better be starting recruiting in the US, because we're going to win those $5,000.
I love it. I love it. Yes, it's worldwide. So go after it, everyone.
I like it. Time to go global.
I love it. All right. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone.